is up, my friends? Welcome to My Chemical Fancast. I'm Haley.
And I'm Kat.
And this is a podcast dedicated to all things My Chemical Romance. This week we are diving into our first patron episode. Isn't that exciting?
So exciting. And it's like the first episode we've recorded in this brand new world.
Yeah, we are 8 days into
8 days.
into the brave new world.
I like that we're counting it by days.
I am.
This band has caused me so much stress.
Yeah.
Like so much. I'm just on edge all the time. My blood pressure has never been higher for so long. Every day I just await. I await news.
Yeah, it's pretty trying.
Every day something happens.
I've been going to bed at about 9 o'clock every day because I'm so tired.
Me too. I've just been crashing and like waking up at like 2 a.m. having gotten 6 hours of sleep.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, what the fuck do I do now?
Hold on, is 9 to 2? No, it's not.
I don't know. Well, it hasn't been like
5 hours. I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Don't do math on me. I was a humanities major.
I was a music major.
Music has more math in it than English.
It does. You're right about that.
Not that much math, but more.
Not that much. We got to count to 6. Sometimes
8.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? We were talking
about the brave
about
new world.
The brave new world where something happens every day that makes my heart jump in my chest.
Yeah.
Recently, we found out Thursday's opening for My Chem at the fucking reunion show.
Yes, indeed they are.
Holy shit, man. Like, what a pure choice, you know? Like,
yeah, throwing back.
That's just friendship. And, like, it's so heartwarming.
It's going to be a good show. And
so good. But before everything good happened to us recently, something very bad happened to us.
Oh boy, what happened?
Once upon a time, there was something called MCR5.
Oh.
And it was not the good MCR5 that we know now. It was the lost MCR5.
Mm-hmm.
The lost album. Some have known it as the Paper Kingdom.
So, as we dive in today, I would like to acknowledge the patron that requested this episode. We were going to do it anyway, but patron episode for Tim Malpass. Tim
Malpass our first patron?
Yeah, he was our very first patron.
Oh my god.
Yep.
What a baller. What a G.
Ahead of the game, y'all. Tim Malpass says, I always obsess over things that never were, which is why my chosen topic I'd like you to talk about is the infamous MCR5 / the Paper Kingdom. I wondered if you could cast your scrupulous eyes over the few things that Gerard has said about the abandoned project, and also share your opinions on what kind of album you think it would have been. It's hard to talk about the Paper Kingdom without talking about the breakup.
Yeah, we have to talk about both of them a little bit.
A little bit. Like, we'll save more about the breakup for later, but we have to talk about it like a little bit. We'll try and separate them as much as possible, but they're a little bit intertwined.
Yeah, and guys, like, we're doing a breakup episode after this. Isn't that wild?
That's ironic, I feel.
Man, MCR came back just in fucking time.
They seriously, like, it lined up so wonderfully.
Imagine if we had done a whole ass breakup episode before they got back together.
Oh,
I would have been very upset.
Yeah. All right, so I know that you have been referring to the... Oh, God, what is it? It's this interview. You know, the interview.
The Andy Greenwald interview?
Yes. You've been referring to that one for this, I'm pretty sure, because it's the one where he talks about the Paper Kingdom the most.
Yeah, for sure.
So I would like to put in the clip where he is describing the Paper Kingdom.
It's going to be this storyline about a support group of parents who are dealing with the loss of their children.
Whoa.
So they make up this story about the children all being missing in the woods and fighting this witch. And that was what it was about.
Did you have a name for it?
Yeah, it was called The Paper Kingdom.
He said it was supposed to be this whole stage production, like he was trying to find anything else to do rather than write music.
Yeah.
He was clinging to the art more. He wanted costumes, stage set, storyline, didn't super care about the songs like he kind of did, but was so much more focused on everything else. Because I think at that point he was just like, I don't want to write music anymore.
Yeah, and like this, can we talk about the concept for a second? Like,
yes.
What is this concept? Like,
It's
what
something.
is it?
It's dark.
How could this ever be an album? Like a support group of parents
Mm-hmm.
who lost their kids and imagine their kids in a different world with a narrative. Like how is this an album?
Yeah.
Can you imagine a musical album with this concept?
Well, you know, I'm going to be real with you. As a theater kid, all I hear when I hear support group is, will I lose my dignity? Well, that's all I hear.
I think, you know, it's funny because like when I read about Paper Kingdom, I always think of Into the Woods just because it's in the woods.
Okay, so Rent meets Into the Woods.
Rent meets Into the Woods. And like also, so they're fighting a witch.
Yes. Which
That's
is
what I
also
was-
Into the Woods.
Yes. And I whenever I hear that, I always think her sister was a witch.
Her sister was a witch!
Like I can't not think about it. So the dead imaginary kids are fighting a witch in the woods, kind of like Hansel and Gretel style,
Yeah.
kind of, I would think. And that's just so, I don't know, that's so weird. And like also Gerard's kind of a witch now, like Loki.
Oh, absolutely.
So I feel like his views on witches have changed.
Yeah. Well, so the thing about it is, though, is that the concept is about parents who have literally lost their children, but they are coping by making up a story
Right.
about their children, like fighting a witch. And they're like, no, they're lost in the woods. They're not actually dead. They're just lost in the woods and they're fighting a witch. What are they doing right now? What do you think they're doing? They're like role-playing their children. It's really weird.
But also that's a terrible way to cope,
It's
I would think.
not a coping method.
No, it's not. That's just denial.
It's maladaptive daydreaming, I think, is what...
Yeah, that's very bad. That's not a solution to your problem.
No. So, yeah, not great all around. But, I mean, you know, Gerard wasn't in a fantastic headspace at this point.
No.
I would like to examine 2012, if we could.
Yes. Exhibit A, 2012.
All of 2012. So, Gerard has said, again, in the Andy Greenwald interview, he was in an extremely dark place, brought in some, quote, really bad dark energy, and he said he hadn't been that depressed since before the band started.
Mm-hmm.
So this was after, or maybe during, kind of Danger Days time, and they were, you know, about to write the next album, and they were writing songs, and Frank even, like, they were doing interviews about it, and someone asked Frank about it in an interview, and they were like, how far along are you in the writing process? Can you give us, like, a timeline? Do you know when it'll be released? And he was like, fuck no, but it's going, you know, it's going really well, and we're writing some things, and we might be pressing the record button in a month. They get so far along in the process that they do this every fucking time, and then they, like, just stop, and then they just, why do they do this to themselves?
Well, you know, you gotta focus on the project in front of you, and you can't tell an interviewer, like, actually it sucks and we're not happy.
Well, no, I'm not saying that he should have been like, oh yeah, this is really, like, it's terrible, blah blah, but to say like, oh yeah, we're gonna press record in like a month, like, you don't have to say that unless you are actually thinking about doing that.
Well, I think they did. Okay, so there are some conflicting reports about how much of this album they recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say they recorded more than 20 songs. I think there was like...
Jeez.
There's some conflicting accounts. Like, someone on Reddit said it, but they said that James said it in a tweet, but I haven't been able to find the tweet, so, like, take that as you will. And another person said that he had heard the songs because he was, like, involved in the recording process, that they'd recorded 6 songs, 3 were finished, and 3 were instrumental. Again, take that as you will. So, but, you know, we have Fake Your Death, so they clearly recorded something. And I think they got like a pretty good ways into the album because Gerard was also looking, like, I know he wanted to distract himself a lot, but he was still, like, looking at venues and trying to talk about costumes and trying to like actually figure out the stage production. So I think that they were pretty far along. Like, not maybe conventional weapons, you know, like not that much, but I think they had done a good amount of work on it.
Well, do you remember the interview with Kevin Smith that he did? And he was talking about like, yeah, I'm going to meet with Colleen Atwood soon. Are you fucking kidding me?
Though, to be honest, I would just want to meet with Colleen Atwood for like lunch.
Just to meet with her.
Just to say hello. Like, if I know Colleen Atwood, I'm not going to not talk to her.
Oh, yeah, but
all the time.
He specifically said he was going to meet with her about costumes. That's the thing. So
what would the costumes have been?
I don't know.
Would he have been the witch, or would he have been the child, or would he have been the parent? Like,
I think
what were the costumes?
I think the witch. That would have been really cool.
That would have been incredible.
That would have been so
What if they
awesome.
just had like a flying witch, like a witch on wires?
Holy shit.
To fly around the stage?
Like
That'd be great.
Elphaba?
Yes.
But he said that the production was, quote, going fast. What does that mean?
I don't know. This guy's a liar too, so like, you know, take everything.
He's an established liar.
An established liar, a known liar.
But yeah, back at examining 2012, he said he felt trapped and like against what was in line with himself as an artist. And he said, I guess we're a super dark band, and I guess that's what people want, basically.
Oh my god, that pisses me off so much. Like,
yeah,
this ain't it. Like, that is the worst take I've ever heard about My Chemical Romance.
Oh, I know.
And it came from Gerard's own mouth. Like,
well, it's not even a take. It's just how he was made to feel at the time, and it was like he was bummed about it. He was like, well, I guess people want us to be dark, and we do dark well, so we might as well just do this again. And
that's incorrect. Yeah,
and he was trying to recapture the vibes of the Black Parade, and you know, that was at a point that got him to the point where he knew, like, all right, this is not what I want to do. I don't want to like try and recapture art that I've already done. I want to keep moving forward. So yeah,
and that's, you know, that was a good decision. Like, that's good.
For
like,
sure.
I'm thankful for that. It's a real fucking bummer to hear how disillusioned he was with My Chem post Danger Days. And I mean, I can understand why he felt that way, because the reaction to Danger Days was so mixed and so much different than Black Parade. And I think for people who were shocked by Danger Days when it first came out, and like I was kind of one of them, like maybe that feeling did exist a little bit. Like why can't they do their old albums, you know? But I mean, the darkness isn't what made My Chem a good band. Like, they did do dark well, but like what they really did well was like make theatrical, inventive rock music that had genuine sentiment and like had a band that was super authentic in their messages and their desires and how they behaved themselves. Like that's what they did well. Like, that's the thing about My Chem. So it sucks that he didn't see that at the time, and I think his perspective on it has changed. I mean, clearly since they're back together, I would say that his perspective on it has changed, and I think our perspective on it has changed as well. Yeah. And so, like, I'm really grateful for that, but this was a dark time.
Yeah. Yeah, like, so, you remember Big Day Out in 2012?
Yeah.
And that was when Gerard had the, like, orangey, yellow, blonde hair. He was having a time at that show. So at the show he was having a time. Did you see him in the interviews?
I don't remember at this particular moment.
He was aggressive.
Oh no. Wait, now I have to Google that now.
He was aggressive. There is a particular one that I would like you to include.
I go near it.
What?
Because I don't care.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. We've been asked a lot of questions about the festival, like what's going on with it, and first of all, there's something every year with every festival. There's always some kind of drama or whatever. Personally, I think it's conspiracy to drive ticket sales, but that's an aside.
He's aggressive.
It is aggressive, and you know what? His answer isn't bad. Like, his answer is fine, but he's just phrased it in a very aggressive way.
Out of character. And there's another part earlier in that exact same interview. I'll send you the link to that time right now.
You embarrass easily. No, you know what? We're kind of like animals. Like, if somebody tries to embarrass us, we lash out pretty meanly.
Yeah.
It doesn't really. And we're rock bands, so we're kind of allowed to do that. We also don't show up for red carpets and crap like that.
We
So
don't go to that stuff.
we don't put ourselves in positions to be embarrassed.
He's like, we're just fucking animals and we don't give a shit. And because
Fucking
we're a
animals.
rock band, because we can get away with that because we're a rock band.
It's weird because like he's still like kind of on message, but his tone is just very aggressive.
He's just, I think this was a point, and I'm not criticizing him for being aggressive because I'm sure he was not in a great headspace, first of all. Second of all, he was probably so fucking done with media that day. Like sometimes you just have a day where you're like annoyed.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm just saying it's very out of character for him. Because normally, like, if he's annoyed with, like, the media or something in a literal interview, he doesn't really let it show.
Yeah, unless they're, like, being dicks.
Yeah, like the one guy who was, like, asking him all kinds of really personal questions, and he's like, mm-mm.
Yeah. Or the guy who was like, what's your type of romance? And he's like, that's creepy.
That's personal. That's private. Yeah. But I mean, he's not doing great. And then another thing I want to point out is this is right before MCR's last show. Frank did an interview. And this is what I mentioned earlier. How has the writing process been going for the follow-up to Danger Days? Where are you at in the writing process? Frank said, it's going really well, actually. I'm really excited. I can't wait to start tracking. I think we're maybe a month away from hitting the record button. So obviously, communication in this band is not stellar.
Communication is an interesting topic that I think we'll talk about a little bit more in the future.
There are different pages here.
There's a lot to dive into there. I also think that Gerard, well, we might talk about this more a little bit when we talk about the song, but like, I don't know how much he admitted his own feelings to himself. So they might not have been on different pages because Gerard might have thought that like, I mean, he might have known he was unhappy, but he might have thought, like, it was fine and they were going to still make a record, you know? Like, right. I don't know that Gerard, in the moment, was always the best at, like, realizing the bigger picture of why he wasn't happy.
Exactly, yeah.
And realizing what needed to be done about it, so.
Right. Well, I think part of it was, like, I mean, he's been unhappy before and the band fixed it. So why wouldn't the band fix it this time if, unless the reason he's unhappy is because of the band. And I think it took him a while. Yeah, I think it took him a while to realize the reason he was unhappy was the band. So,
yeah.
So Gerard's thoughts post breakup about MCR5. He had a couple. One of them was he didn't want to be in a support group every night. Mm-hmm. Imagine Gerard having to act out like grieving the loss of a child every night on stage. No thanks.
I can't. Especially since he actually had a kid then. Like,
yeah.
I have no idea how this ever would have looked on stage and like been feasible and people would have wanted to go to see it. Like,
no,
I can't imagine that.
Just if you're empathetic at all, going to that kind of concert would be over fucking whelming.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
Just no. So yeah, I don't know. I think it would be an interesting story, maybe in a different medium, but not one where he has to physically act it out on stage and live it every night.
Yeah, I don't know, it's very weird.
Yeah.
So that's kind of Paper Kingdom. Shall we talk about Fake Your Death?
It's finally time to talk about Fake Your Death.
Some people watch, some people pray, but even lights can fade away. Some people hope, some people pay, but why we have to stay? 'Cause even here...
Finally, time. The only surviving Paper Kingdom song that we have.
This is the very last official MCR song that we have to cover.
So far.
So far.
Who knows? But so far, it's the last one.
We don't know what the future holds, but...
We don't know.
As of, what is today? November 8th, 2019. This is the last one, so...
So Fake Your Death. It is our last MCR song, and you know what? It sounds like our last MCR song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this song is a goodbye song. It's a see you later song. It's a see you never song.
Yeah.
It's an I'm really done with this shit song. And Gerard talked about it when he went through the discography and tweeted about it. So here are his tweets about Fake Your Death. What was not so obvious at the time of creating the song was that the song was and would serve as a eulogy for the band, though I should have known it from the lyrics. I think internally I did, as I felt an odd sense of sadness and loss after hearing back the words on top of the music. I also felt a strange sense of pride in how honest it was, and could not remember a band recording a song of this nature, being so self-aware. Ending felt like something honest, and honest always feels like something new. So it will exist, and it is no cowardly act to release something of this nature, but a service to those who believed in a band that did not compromise, and a wave goodbye to all. And yes, it is fucking heartbreaking. And while I don't believe the lyrics of the chorus today, I did at the time, which to me is a core ingredient of the music of MCR. And it is through that belief and yours that we were able to achieve many beautiful things.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, that sums it up. Like, it's a goodbye song. It's a farewell song. And I can't imagine, even though he says that he didn't realize it at the time,
How could you
I can't
not?
imagine writing these lyrics and not realizing that it's a song about being done with the fucking band.
Like, I've never really... One thing I have not called Gerard is oblivious, but I think at this point, if you write this song, you're like, wonder what that
I wonder
means.
what this is about.
It
I
came
think-
from your own head, Gerard.
I think when you're really invested in something and you're very close to it and it has issues, sometimes
see
it's
the
hard to
forest
see
for
the
the
bigger
trees.
picture. Yeah. That's funny in this context.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, let's get into it. All right. So we're starting with instrumentation. First of all, I really dig this piano intro.
Yeah.
It's like kind of bouncy and somehow it sounds totally like My Chem and also totally new.
Mm-hmm.
Very,
yeah.
Maybe it's because it sounds more like their live performances where they have more piano, but like it sounds very them, but also like very fresh.
Yeah.
And you immediately get the MCR claps.
Well, it's a different MCR clap because we have
It
a stomp
is.
clap in here.
Yes.
This is new.
Yes, the stomp is the addition.
Yeah, where like we know the classic MCR clap, but this like is a new rhythm kind of thing. It's cool.
And it's a slower clap, but it's still an MCR clap,
Uh-huh.
which is, I mean, I always love them.
Yeah, and
But also since it's the final song, like very appropriate.
and it starts to build kind of gradually through the song with that simple, it starts with the repetitive motif and we start to build on that. We add the stomp clap, we add like some more piano, we add just a little bit of guitar, which kind of serves as a more percussive sound.
Yes.
Because you can hear the strokes on it more than anything else. You can hear that.
Yeah, and I think they have a little string section in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it feels like a very kind of natural evolution of My Chem because it still has the extra things they do, such as having like a string section, having more instrumentation and having Gerard's strong vocals on top. But then, yeah, like in Danger Days, they started using guitars in a different way, and there's very little guitar here, which is a very bold thing for them to do, where guitars don't make up the backbone of the song.
Yeah,
that's
they don't.
That's very Neo, My Chemical Romance.
The guitar solo, though, uses like a lot of feedbacky kind of sound.
Just look at all that pain. Just look at all that pain. Just give me all that pain. Just give me all that pain. Just give me all that pain.
It's a solo, and you can tell it's a solo, but it's a very chill solo.
Yeah, really.
One thing that I think is the most notable about the song is the pacing. It's so deliberate, and it's one of their very few slow to medium tempo songs. And like it never picks up like other MCR songs.
No.
It never becomes something aggressive. It just stays steadily at that same pace.
Yeah, and though we do add in a lot more stuff, like I think it's like at the second pre-chorus, the second chorus, we add in a lot of stuff. Like there's more guitar, there's more piano, lots of layering going on.
But it still stays
But
the
it
same
stays the
tempo.
same, yeah, it's the same tempo.
Yeah, it's very like steady, and it feels, I don't know, it feels very deliberate.
Yes.
It kind of makes his lyrics stand out more. It feels more like he's trying to say something, I think.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's the whole song is very deliberate.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing that's out of place. There's nothing that's an accident. Everything is like meant to be where it is.
I enjoy this song, even though, you know what, it's not as sad to listen to anymore, so now I just enjoy it.
Yeah, I think to this day I've listened to this song 3 times.
Yeah, and now like listening to it, yeah, I didn't listen to it much anymore, but now that I listen to it for this episode, I'm like, oh yeah, this is good, and it's not painful anymore to hear.
I mean, not as. It's still a little painful, I think.
It doesn't feel as personal anymore, you know,
Yeah.
like it's like there's still like sentiments in it which are painful, but now I know that like we're over that and we're in a better age, and so I feel better about it.
Yeah, for sure.
But speaking of that,
Speaking of, the song, so first off, this song accompanies the trailer for the Greatest Hits album, which features a broken bust, which is a composite of the boys' faces.
yeah,
It goes into the statue's eyeball, and it dies and relives MCR's moments, and it's really emotional.
I wish you had not reminded me of that. It's fine. They're back together. It's fine.
I know.
It's fine.
I know. First lyric that I would like to talk about. Even heroes get the blues, or any misery you choose.
Killing me.
I know.
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of Paramore's song Idol Worship, which is a brilliant song. That like even the people you idolize, you know, they're just like people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lyric.
It is a lyric.
You know, I mean, we've all of us have been aware that Gerard is just a man, not a hero.
Not a hero.
He's just a boy. Not a We're aware. We know that he has feelings.
He gets the blues.
We know that he is a sad boy.
He's so sad. There's also the lyric, but even lights can fade away.
Even lights can fade away. Wow.
Damn.
Wow. The visual. Okay, I know this didn't happen, but I have a visual of Gerard at the last show, even though it was an outdoor show and there were no lights other than the sun. But
it was very sunny.
I have a visual of Gerard at the last show on stage with the spotlight fading to nothing and then him and the band walking off the stage. And anyway, that's a very literal interpretation, but here's another interpretation of MCR actually being the light. And, you know,
They're the light.
I know, light bulbs burn out after a while.
I like how he uses, like he's used lights a lot.
Yes.
Usually as like a metaphor for, you know, fame.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that. It's like vampires, you know, just like one of those things that always pops up.
Yeah. And I think this lyric goes hand in hand with You Only Live Forever in the Lights You Make.
Yes.
Which basically like their legacy, and like you can live forever in the legacy, but even your legacy can fade away.
You can live forever in your legacy, but when the lights fade away, you're just a mortal man.
Mm-hmm.
You're just you. And
Just a dude.
that leads into the lyric. So fake your death, erase your blame, and leave the lights on when you stay. Take off your clothes and dream that fame. Come on and feel that shame. Like, I feel like it's a very Hannah Montana moment of two lifestyles, and you have to fake your death so that you can live a second life anonymously without all the burden of your first life. And take off your clothes. You have to strip down to just like who you are without all the costumes and the facades. It's so deep.
Yep.
It's so deep. And then also the lines, dream that fame, come on and feel that shame. Like, is that shame for enjoying fame or like still thinking about it? I don't know.
Well, I think there's another interpretation that you can make when you know you take off all that facade, you take off all the clothes and stuff, and you're not what people expect you to be, and you're just there's a disconnect between the real person that you are versus the stage person that you are, and that could probably, I don't know, if people are like, oh, you're not as cool as I thought you were, and you're like, oh, sorry.
Well, Gerard, as we know, has never been cool. that he said in the coolest way possible. The interview infuriates me.
Don't even get me started.
What other sad lyric can we talk about?
Oh,
They're all sad.
All of them. Every single one.
You want the heart or to be saved, but even good guys still get paid.
Oh, boy. Okay. Even good guys still get paid. You know, they got to make money somehow. Like, yeah, part of staying in that very successful band past the point they thought they should was motivated by money. It just was. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, no reasonable person gives up a good paying job easily when they have a house and a family they have to provide for.
Yeah, well, I think that the lyric, I think you're right. But I think Gerard at some point had I think he's disillusioned with My Chemical Romance for a few reasons. But I think treating it like a job is maybe one of the reasons.
Yeah.
Because
It wasn't a passion
My Chemical
anymore.
Romance, yeah, and because My Chemical Romance was supposed to be an idea, it was supposed to have a thesis, it's supposed to be very specific, and then like in Danger Days they went off script and like it still worked out, but like they were still reaching. So, you know, but even good guys still get paid. I don't think he doesn't want to get paid, you know? Like at this point, like I think he's out of that business.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. It can go either way, really. It depends on, I don't know, you know, what his mindset was at the time.
Because you want the heart or to be saved, but even good guys still get paid. Like the but is what sells it for me. Like
right.
if you want the heart and to be saved, then like they need to not be doing this as a business anymore.
Yeah, right.
Or something.
Yeah, no, for sure. You can't be in the business machine.
Yeah.
To have that
And
heart.
the business machine. Yeah. Yes.
I choose defeat and walk away and leave this place the same today. Excuse me.
Fuck.
Excuse me.
Fuck. Damn. I choose defeat.
I choose defeat and walk away and leave this place the same today. And leave this place the same?
That part confuses me. I don't know what that means.
He knows he had an impact. Why is he saying this?
I don't know. I don't know if he's saying that he's the same or the place is the same, but either way, none of those things are true.
Yeah, so I choose defeat.
Or just, you know, because it is that day.
Just
you know?
today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, like there has to be one day where you decide not to do it anymore.
Right,
so like
right.
maybe he's talking about that one day where he looks at it and he's like, you know what? I give up. I'm not about this.
Okay.
You can deal with this.
Sure.
This is your problem.
Your problem now. So just look at all that pain / give me all that pain. So this can be this is a martyr complex thing that he's having.
Yes, it is.
Again, we're right back where we started.
I think it's the duality, you know, because like, give me all your pain. That's the martyr complex, you know, that's it right there. And then you have just look at all that pain. I don't know. I think it's like him being a martyr and also like reflecting on being a martyr, like looking back on what My Chemical Romance has done,
Right.
and seeing how much of his pain was channeled into that, and then also, you know, the pain that the band ended up causing him, the pain of his fans that he took on, like, and sort of like marveling at it as, I don't know, as like,
He can just be looking at it as it is what it is, you know, like this is something that happened and this is something we dealt with and worked through, and
yeah, but like it's in the past.
Yeah.
Like it definitely feels like he's beyond
Yes.
it and looking back at it.
yeah, definitely.
And that maybe he's like, you know, doesn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah. The line,
This song is so sad.
I know.
Can we just?
I know. The line, watch my back and keep the blade. Yo. So that can, on the obvious level, be talking about a backstabbing, like, you know.
Mm-hmm. I always think about Lady of Sorrows whenever I hear anything about like watching backs.
Yeah.
Keep the blade.
Keep the blade. There's just a lot in that line. There's a lot to unpack there, and we don't have time for all that.
Do you want to get to the next line?
Yes.
I think it got you laid.
Yes. So, about that.
It does kind of sound like he's, you know, talking to a figure that has the potential to like hurt him. And like it's kind of like a sassy comment, like, you know, you don't have to bother, like, I'm leaving, you know. I'm sure you got benefits from having this position in the first place, so like, fuck you, but I'm off to do my own thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's such a weird line to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's rare that a line like that is in a My Chem song.
Yeah, they don't really talk about anything like that ever.
Yeah, it's like, it almost like hits me like first draft lyrics, you know. But this is a finished song, so
Yeah, so it's intentional.
But like, definitely, like, even if we don't know specific people, or if we don't want to speculate that specifically, like, when you're a big famous person, there are people trying to take advantage of you or get things based off of your fame.
Yeah.
You know, like, that always happens. There's always someone trying to take advantage of your position. And so I think I do think this is in line about that, about saying to those people, like, you know, I'm peacing out, so you got to figure out your own shit, because you're not going to have me to
use as a
to
crutch
make your way on
anymore.
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Leave the lights on when you stay. So the lights at this point is, I think, representative of the quote idea in the song. Like, this could be the band, this could be the legacy, it could be their mission, you know, just kind of passing the torch. I think that's kind of what this part means, is leave the lights on when you stay, is like passing the torch.
Mm-hmm. This song, I think especially in light of the reunion, some people take this song as being about like faking your death because you're like playing a trick on someone, you know, like in that Sherlock way where Sherlock faked his death. Spoilers. Sherlock faked his death to like handle his shit. But I definitely feel like this is more about faking your death so that you can continue to live a secret life, you know, so you can continue to live another life.
Yeah.
Faking your death so that people don't fucking bother you anymore.
Yeah. Valid.
And then, like, you know, he's gonna grow a mustache. I mean, he did. He grew a beard. All he had to do was do a name change. And you know what? He kind of did live a different life, because like after this, he did Hesitant Alien because it was kind of automatic. But then he did comics. He did Umbrella Academy. Like he did live another life after this band.
Yeah, completely different.
So like, he didn't have to fake his death to do that, but like, I think he got what he wanted.
Yeah.
One thing about the song is there's no fucking way. There's absolutely no fucking way this song could have been in the album concept.
No.
Like, this song has nothing to do with grieving parents or dead kids or witches. Like, this is just a goodbye to the band song. How the fuck was this supposed to be on the album?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
I have a lot of questions at Gerard.
How did you expect this to get on the album? How are you going to finagle this to fit into the concept?
How could you pretend to yourself that this wasn't a goodbye to the band song for even a second?
Yeah.
Did it also, like, did no one see the lyrics before
Oh, man.
we recorded this?
Yeah. I think maybe there's a point in the band where you just let Gerard do his thing and you don't really pay attention to what he's saying.
Yeah, you're like, I got a cool guitar part.
I have a guitar
Let's get
part.
recorded.
I'm gonna slam
like,
on some keys. And just let Gerard say whatever he wants to say. Who cares? So, obviously they heard it, and I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't.
Well, they also recorded Kids from Yesterday and still continued after that, so, you know, anything can happen.
There wasn't, as far as I know about the timeline, there wasn't a lot of time between when this was recorded versus when the band ended. So they didn't have a lot of time to reflect.
Right, that's true. Man, I can't wait to talk about the breakup. I have so much to say.
I
have so much to say about the timeline. Well, do you have anything to say about the song anymore?
Nope.
Well, it's 2019.
Yeah.
The band that we thought was dead is no longer.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, they kind of fake their death.
Yeah, a little bit.
In the opposite way. And, you know, I'm glad they're back for sure, because it's really it's a power move.
Oh,
It is absolutely a power move to reunite it all, and then to reunite on schedule based on an album that you put out 10 years ago. Like, that is amazing. Even if they just did the one show, that would be so powerful.
It would.
there's no other band in history, I think, that has stuck to a plan that well.
And even if it wasn't like a scheduled thing or like a, definitely we're going to get back together at this time or whatever, like we're breaking up because we have to stick to the timeline. Like it wasn't that at all.
No.
But, it worked out this way and the universe aligned. And I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just how it was meant to
the
be.
universe aligned, and I think they gave themselves an out. I think they gave themselves a like, hey, it'd be fun, like seeing what's happening in 2019. And then, it happened, and that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also glad, though, that they broke up. Like, I'm glad that when they weren't having fun anymore, that they stopped.
Yep.
And I'm glad that when they found themselves sort of directionless and wondering what to do next, that they didn't do anything next, because that's not what the band is about. Like, I'm really glad about that. So even though we have this sad fucking song and this unfinished album, like, I'm really glad that we have those things instead of a bad album.
Right.
And I mean, I'm glad they got to live their lives.
Yes, they
Like
did.
Gerard did a bunch of comics.
Everybody
and-
settled down.
Yes, everybody settled down. Everybody has kids now, and like everyone's done their own thing. Like Frank has made some incredible music. Ray has made some incredible music. Mikey has made music and then also done his comics. And Gerard has had the #1 show on fucking Netflix.
Yep.
Like
Mikey had 2 whole babies.
2 entire babies.
Ray?
2 entire babies, not half
No,
babies.
not half
entire
babies.
babies.
Ray had 2 entire babies.
Ray has an unspecified number of children.
You could have 20 for all
that,
we know.
That man could have 7 children or 80 children. I have no idea.
Somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between.
We just don't know. He has at least 2, so we know that.
What if he just has 1, but he moves them back and forth really fast?
Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
It would be the greatest trick. You don't know.
We don't know. We don't. He could be doing that. Okay. Anyway, they've been living their lives. They're back together. All right. Are we going to talk about current MCR5?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about it yet.
I mean, and we don't have a lot to say about it because anything we say is going to be speculation. Just put that out there right now.
Absolutely.
It's all speculation.
Except for the fact they're doing a tour, which is a fact.
But since the reunion, there's a lot of speculation about MCR5. With the hand being placed at the end of their new logo, this
it's absolutely
is a
MCR5.
strong sign that there's either going to be A, new music, or B, a release of what they had done with the Paper Kingdom, which I think is less likely.
I think it's less likely. I don't think they'll release Paper Kingdom because I think it's probably not that good comparatively.
Yeah.
And I think it's a weird concept.
I
I
don't think that they want to relive that.
No, and I don't think it's aged well for a variety of reasons.
For sure not.
I've seen the argument that because it's an MCR5 logo, that it could be in a new album. Everyone's like, it's so much, making new merch. Like, why would you do that unless you were releasing a whole new
This is
album?
Warner Brothers. They'll make new merch because somebody breathed.
Yeah, I can think of plenty of excuses to make new merch, especially since they're doing an entire reunion tour.
Yeah.
So, like, that I don't know how much I believe that argument. But what is interesting to me is that, like, they've thought about these sigils, they put all these sigils together, and I'm so curious about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like what prompted that? And because I don't know, that's just such a specific thing to put into a new logo.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just from what we know of MCR, they could have just made a new text logo. They didn't need those sigils. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I have
and the words to go
questions.
along with them too. Like, are those intentional? Do those is that what each person has come up with one word from their break?
Absolutely. I think that's for sure. I think that's legit. If I had to speculate, I would say 1,000% that represents each person.
Yeah.
I think probably they're not planning on releasing an album. However, they're all musical people who gel very well with one another. And I think it would be hard for them to be together on a tour and not jam. And I think if they did release another album, I don't think we should expect them to like tour on it in the same way that they used to.
Absolutely
I don't think
not.
they have to.
They shouldn't.
Yeah. No, they shouldn't, and they don't have to. Like, they're rich, they're middle-aged, and they don't have to do a goddamn thing, you know? So I think they would, and I think Gerard also, in the last year, has been exploring making music without having to be stuck in that album tour cycle. Like, he's specifically been interested in exploring making music in sort of unorthodox ways, releasing them a song at a time, etc.
Yeah.
So absolutely, I think My Chemical Romance has it well within their power to just like drop an album and not tour or do a short tour, or, you know, like just like drop an album and go. Like, they can do whatever the fuck they
Yeah.
want. So there could be a new album, but I don't think it will be treated necessarily in the same way as their other albums, because they don't have to hustle anymore.
Yeah. And, you know, there's no reason it should be treated like the other albums, because this is a new, a reincarnation of the band. So it's a brave new world, and they will do things in a new way, and we shouldn't have any expectations about what they're going to do.
Can I say, though, that sitting here, I just thought of what the CD booklet would look like.
Oh my.
I know exactly what it would look like. It would be black, okay? The MCR letters would be in red, and the sigils would be gold foil. They'd be metallic.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you feel it?
Oh yeah.
So in my head, it already exists.
Yeah, of course. So I feel like somebody will yell at us if we don't touch on this. So there's been a lot of wizard and Merlin and magic talk.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go through this theory real quick.
Merlin.
The font name is Merlin.
Mm-hmm.
Coincidence? Probably. The storyline of the Paper Kingdom originally involved magic and a witch and children fighting the witch. Gerard stated last year that he was working on, quote, a heavy song called I Am the Hag that he may release in 2019.
Wait, do you remember when Lola, I think, posted those Instagram videos of him in the studio?
Yep.
And he was playing something heavy? I remember listening to that and thinking, this sounds like a My Chem song.
Yes.
Because it was like, it's not one of the ones he released, and it was so much heavier, and I was like, holy shit.
Wasn't that around like Christmas last year?
It was a while ago.
I don't remember when that was. I remember one of them was Christmas because I saw something Christmas-like in the video.
Oh yeah, there was like a hat. Yeah.
But that may have been 2017. All the years are starting to blur together, so I don't really know.
I don't know. I'm just saying, I know this man makes heavy music, and I know who would be really good at playing that.
I do too. So those are the facts. What do we think?
I mean, if they did release a new album, I have no doubt it would involve magic somehow. Gerard is very interested in that lately. It's something he's doing a lot. Like, sure, that dude would definitely put magic in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is necessarily pointing towards that, because I think that they would be very cautious about locking themselves into a certain path at this point.
Yeah.
I think they're very much taking it day by day. So I really don't think they have plans at this moment. However, I think plans may emerge.
Yeah, I think anything that's a natural progression for them right now is what they're going with. And
Right.
I mean, you know, what the fuck do I know? But like, I feel it would be a good idea to just let things flow.
Yeah, let it flow.
Let it flow, my dudes. Rather than being like, all right, this is what we're doing. And, you know, just let it flow.
Yes, I support that. I support the flow.
Yeah, support the flow. Anyway, that's that.
Well,
We have come to Fanecdotes, and I hope everyone is ready, because I am reading Stelita Stupidos from Instagram. I'm gonna read Stelita's Fanecdote. I would like to put a quick trigger warning on it for abuse and suicide mention, so skip ahead about, 3 minutes if you want to skip that. The year was 2010. I arrived in England. I was 9 and 3 years before my schizophrenic and abusive father had killed himself. My mother stayed in Southeast Asia, where we had lived before, while I stayed with my grandparents. I started going to the local state school, where I was bullied profusely for being different and for being damaged. Soon it got to be too much, and I was sent to a boarding school. My first year at boarding school was incredibly difficult. I felt very unwanted. I felt that no one in my family could handle the emotional damage I had sustained while my father was alive. I had made a few friends, mainly older students, including a girl called Courtney who liked watching music videos, which she would download to her iPad when she was at home, because at school we had no internet. One day, she made me watch a video in which a man was rolled on stage by nurses in a medical bed. My life had been changed forever. At the time, I was intrigued, but I didn't think much of it, though Courtney liked it very much. She told me that it was a My Chemical Romance live show, and that when I had internet at home, I should go listen to them, which a few weeks later is exactly what I did. My first MCR video and song I'd ever seen properly was I'm Not Okay. I was in my grandparents' living room on my grandfather's laptop. I remember listening to the sound of Gerard's voice singing this song, and for the first time in my life, I became truly vulnerable. Before, I felt like I had to be strong for my mother, and if I couldn't be strong, then I should just be quiet. I was very numb. The only strong feeling I'd really had in a long time was my wish to die. Long story short, I must have spent the entire afternoon watching that video over and over again, weeping like a baby. I downloaded Welcome to the Black Parade and 3 Cheers, and went back to school, and I've basically been in love with their music ever since. Anyways, nowadays I'm living at home with my grandparents. I'm 18, and I'm going to 6th form college for art, and I'm 100% sure that I wouldn't be without MCR. They showed me that by making art, I had power over my own life, that I could have a good impact on others' lives, and that I'm more than just a victim. I got straight distinctions this year, which is the best grade a person can get, and I'm the happiest I've ever been, which isn't that great, but I know it's going to be better, and I definitely got a lot of help towards this from MCR and their surrounding community. So, thank you.
Thank you for sending in your fanecdote.
Thank you.
Trigger warning for the next fanecdote. There's another mention of suicide. We have some heavy fanecdotes today. All right, I've got a second one. This is from Gabrielle. Hi, my name is Gigi, and I really want to tell you my story. I've been listening to your podcast for about a year right now. Hey, early adopter. It was the summer of 2018, and I was at a back-to-school party. One of our friends was going away to travel and wouldn't be back for the next school year, so this was the last time we would see her for a while, and we wanted to make the most of it. While we were hanging out, she told all of us to listen to the typical emo quartet. My Chem, Panic, 21 Pilots, Fall Out Boy, The Works, and to watch Crank That Frank. Now it was near the end of the summer, August 8th, and so far I'd only listened to Panic, and that was the day I decided to listen to MCR. And I'm so happy I chose that day.
Finally getting to the good stuff.
After about 30 minutes of listening to their discography, I got a text from my friend at the time. She broke the news to me that our mutual online friend had taken her life. This was devastating, because this was the girl that had helped me through so many hard times and had gotten me to stop self-harming. I've been clean for 1.5 years now, and hearing that news nearly broke me. I'm not allowed to have online friends because my mom, so I wasn't able to mourn her at all. My Chem gave me a way to get through it. I was damn near tears and picked up my ukulele to cheer myself up. I started cycling through the MCR songs I heard and came to Welcome to the Black Parade. The lyrics just spoke to me, and it's like the universe knew I would need it that day. Specifically, Your Memory Will Carry On and the bridge. I played that song and sang it for about 2 hours straight. I truly believe that if I had started listening to them a day later, I would not be here. I know it sounds really cheesy, but it's true. I started supporting the members' solo stuff and was fully with it. I thought it was going to be a phase, but here I am, a year later, and still emo as hell. They helped me again, this time with famous last words, when a friend tried to turn everyone against me. Also, funnest tidbit, I heard Desert Song in math class and nearly started crying. I had to skip the track, and it is now my favorite song by them. I know it's long, but I don't know. Thank you, Gabrielle, for sending in your anecdote.
Mm-hmm.
We really appreciate it. And now, is it time? I think it's time to thank our patrons.
Mm-hmm.
Is it time?
Yeah.
It's that time. We have a Patreon. It is at patreon.com/chemicalfancast. If you want to support our podcast, and who knows how long it will last, truly at this point, you can find us at patreon.com/chemicalfancast and pledge an amount. The lowest amount you can pledge is $1 to get episodes a day earlier. But if you pledge $2 more a month, you will get your name on this list, and I also thank you to you every single episode.
No matter how
So-
long the list gets, and it grows every day.
I am committed until we get to like 100 names. That's when I'll stop.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, I'll read your name on this list and say thank you to you. So, a big thank you to Tim Malpass. This is his episode.
Hey!
Early adopter. Tim Malpass, Vienna Langton, Gabby Dauber, The Boy Phantom, my mom, Tarla Mantia, Cherith McGregor, Katie Kelly, Melissa Contreras, Phil Grant, Imra Johnson, Caitlin Carnes, Anne-Louise Mullen, Dominique Ray, Liz Roswell, Bertha Villa, Jen Schillingberg, Vanessa Zermeno, Brianna Tong, Cassie Witt, Patricia Ignacio, Darcy Sheltman, Ella Bird, Jasmine Brett, Rianda Graff, Casey Gerhart, Jacob Grimm, Alex Hausman, Irresplendence, Jessica Labrizzi, Montana Miller, Sarah Joe, and The Millennial Freelancer. Thank you all very much for supporting our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I really vibe with The Millennial Freelancer.
Yeah, I like that.
I feel that millennial freelance hustle.
Yep.
And now, Haley, what
Yes.
is your song of the week?
My song of the week is Lilac by Estrons.
She takes the money out of mother's purse, finds a place that she goes to first. She meets a man that she's never met. It's a face she won't forget. He said, gimme more.
Estrons, I feel like there's another song by them I like.
Probably. This seems like your kind of band. Mhm,
Yes,
mhm.
I like that band.
Yep, me too. It's good shit.
It's good shit. My song of the week is Falling in Love Again by Joyce Manor.
Thanks for showing me around last night. Hope you don't think I don't care. 'Cause I do, I just don't know if I should feel this bad about you. After finishing your birthday, toast to get a yearbook unprepared. Betray yourself, just slip it off.
Mostly just because it's been absolutely stuck in my head, and I have not been able to get it out no matter what. It's gonna take an operation to remove it from my head.
Mm.
But it also is a good song.
Good.
So,
At least it's a good
there's that.
song.
Yes. Well, I think it's all our business for today, except for Haley, where should people find us if they want to talk to us?
Well, let me tell you. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Chemical Fancast, Facebook, My Chemical Fancast, and email us very specific words and things to mychemicalfancast@gmail.com.
Well, one down, guys.
Yep. We're just taking this day by day, y'all. Let's just everybody take a breath.
We are. The next episode will be about the breakup. Who knows what that will be like? It'll be an interesting ride for all of us.
Oh, yeah.
And man, just like happy new era, guys. Like,
Yeah.
we live in such a blessed timeline now. Like, enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Cast some spells. Find your sigil. Charge your crystals.
Stay hydrated.
Stay fucking hydrated. Until next time, I'm Kat,
I'm Haley.
and this is My Chemical Fancast. Bye.
Bye.